Okay, we'll see the incremental backup, and then I'll try once again the table space point term recovery, and then I'll continue the rest of the part.
Okay.
Okay. So as I said, full database backup will take the backup of all the files, all the data files, control file, and SP file. So if you want to go for a full database backup, along with taking backup database, you have to backup arclog also. That completes your full database backup. And each and every time you invoke full database backup, it will go and take the backup of all the files. If you want to go for incremental approach, that means backing up the blocks which are changed from the previous backup, we'll be going for incremental backups. So there are level 0 backup and level 1 backup.
Okay.
Level 0 is nothing but a full database backup, but it allows incremental backups. If you go for full database backup and then if you try to do level 1 backup, even you're trying to do level 1 backup, it will take the backup of full database.
Okay.
So first we have to take the level 0 backup, and then we have to go for level 1 backup. So level 1 backup will only backup the changes which are made from previous backup.
Okay.
So let us go ahead and okay. If you see here, I don't have any backups. That means there are no backups which have been performed on this database. So I'll go ahead and take incremental level 0 backup.
లెవెల్ 0 అప్పుడు కూడా అన్ని కంట్రోల్ ఫైల్స్ అన్ని బ్యాకప్ అవుతాయి కదండి.
Yeah, level 0 is nothing but a full database backup.
Okay.
Only difference is it will allow the incremental backups to be happen in the future. Completed. The backup is completed now. Let us go ahead and create one table.
Okay.
Scott.emp underscore incremental as select start from Scott.emp. Okay, the table is created. Now I'll go for backup incremental level 1 database, and whenever I don't specify any differential or cumulative, it will go for a differential backup.
Okay.
Incremental level 1 backup is also completed. We'll check the difference in the file sizes. If you see here, the files are the backup which we took at 1012. We started the backup at 1012. You can just imagine the changes in the sizes. So these are around like totally around 5 MB or 10 MB, but this altogether is around 1 GB. There's a drastic difference in the sizes, so it will only back up the changes which are made from the previous backup. And I haven't made any changes. I don't know why it didn't work on the previous database. అసలు ఆ డేటాబేస్ ఏమైందో అర్థం కాలేదండి. ఓకే, అండ్ దెన్
అది మాన్యువల్ గా క్రియేట్ చేసిన డేటాబేస్ కదండి.
యా, మాన్యువల్గా క్రియేట్ చేసిన డేటాబేస్. అది యాక్చువల్గా మాన్యువల్ అప్రోచ్ అనే ప్రాబ్లం కాదు. మనము 3-4 టైమ్స్ మాన్యువల్ బ్యాకప్ అప్రోచ్ కూడా యూజ్ చేసి రీస్టోర్ చేసాము, అండ్ ఫుల్ rman కూడా యూజ్ చేసి చేసాం. మేబీ దానివల్ల ఏమైనా ఎఫెక్ట్ అయి ఉంటుందేమో అని డౌట్ అంతే. And if you want to go for cumulative, we'll go for backup, incremental, cumulative, level 1 database. There is no cumulative for level 0. There will be cumulative only for level 1.
ఇప్పుడు ఇది అది సేమ్ ఉండాలి కదా మనకి యాక్చువల్ గా అయితే సైజ్ లో.
క్యుములేటివ్ అన్న
క్యుములేటివ్ అన్న లెవెల్ 1 లో తీసాం కదా బ్యాకప్, రెండు సేమ్ ఉండాలి కదా యాక్చువల్ గా మనం చేంజెస్ చేయలేదు.
యా ఆల్మోస్ట్ సేమ్ ఉంటుంది.
అదొకటి ప్లస్ కంట్రోల్ ఫైల్స్ అవి ప్రతిసారి బ్యాకప్ చేస్తాయి.
యా ప్రతిసారి, ఎందుకంటే నేను ఆటో కంట్రోల్ ఫైల్ బ్యాకప్ ఆన్ చేశాను. బ్యాకప్ cumulative incremental level 1. Cumulative spelling. Backup cumulative incremental level 1 database. This will go for cumulative backup.
Okay.
It will take some time to identify the blocks which are changed. So that is the reason why it will consume time. It has to check for the blocks which are changed from the previous backup. It has to read each and every data file, and it has to look for the blocks which are changed, and then it will back up those changes. Okay, it's done. So look at the difference in the size. Again, I mean, like it's only going for cumulative backups.
Yeah.
Uh, next thing, it చూపించే కదా report schema will give you all the data files which are present in the database. Next, list backup will give you the backup information. It will give everything. What are the files included in the backup set, when the backup was taken, what is the backup size. And list backup summary will just give you the summary. It will show you when it was taken and what is the tag, whether the backup was successful or not. That's it. In manual approach, you have to look at the files which are required for the recovery, and you have to perform the recovery. But rman is intelligent enough; it will decide which files are required to perform the recovery and restoration, and it will take care of that.
Okay.
Let us see the tablespace point time recovery also. Just I'll archive the current arclog file and I'll take the backup of arclog files. Alter system arclog current. Okay, then backup arclog all. Okay, so we have to cross check the arclog files. Some of the arclog files are manually deleted. Okay, it's done now. Backup arclog all. Okay, it's done. Now I'll drop the table. Drop table emp underscore
Again, see.
yeah scott.emp underscore answer. I'll go for patch. And now we'll see whether we can perform the table space point time recovery or not. I'll go for 10:15
Okay.
or 10:16 where I have the table, and I'll be using the location table space point time recovery folder in order to store the auxiliary instance data files. 6:15 10:16 table. Yeah, we'll check it out. అవుతుంది. ఆ డేటాబేస్కి ఏమైందో అనవసరంగా టైం వేస్ట్ చేసాం.
Yeah.
So to perform the point time recovery, we'll be using recover table space name until time 2_date. The reason why we have to go for table space point time recovery is, for example, if one of the table space is corrupted, and if you have to restore this table space, you have to perform an incomplete recovery. That means we lose all the transactions which are made from that point of time. So in order to avoid those problems, what we'll do is like we'll perform the table space quantum recovery. This will copy the table space into a different database, auxiliary database, a temporary database, along with system, sysocs, and under table space. And then it will get the table space from that database, and then it will plug it into the current database, and then it will perform the export and import. As it will perform the export and import, there is no problem with the SCN number.
Okay.
Is called as IYFL. Now from there it will export the objects and it will import it back.
Okay.
It will perform that at table space level. It will not perform at schema level. It will take the export of table space and it will import that back into the target database.
Okay.
It created a directory to perform the export and import.
Mm-hmm.
Now it started the export. It is using data pump.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
That's why it created the directory. So whenever we are performing table space point time recovery, we have to specify the auxiliary database location where it has to store the auxiliary database files.
Okay.
So all the files it will store it under this directory. It will create some subdirectories like data files, log files, and everything, and it will store those files. This will be treated as a root parent directory to store all the files.
రికవరీ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఆ డేటా మనం చూడొచ్చండి పాత్లో.
Okay. అంతా అయిపోయింది కానీ ఓకే దీస్ will perform the recovery. The
ఓకే
only error it errored out is it cannot drop the default permanent table space. అంటే అక్కడ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఇక్కడ కరెంట్ టేబుల్ స్పేస్ ని డ్రాప్ చేసి ఈ టేబుల్
ఓకే
స్పేస్ ని ఇంపోర్ట్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట. కానీ ఇక్కడ డిఫాల్ట్ టేబుల్ స్పేస్ ఇది ఉంది కదా, సో అందుకే ఇట్ ఎర్రర్ అవుట్. సో వాట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు డూ ఇస్ లైక్ whenever we are performing table space point time recovery, we need to make sure it's not a default table space. So
ఓకే
for that we'll be doing alter database default table space. I'll have to use another table space.
ఓకే
Let me check what table space I have. Okay, I have hot underscore demo. I'll make example as a default table space. Alter database default table space example. But the problem here is I cannot start the recovery from where it ended out. I have to do it all over again.
ఓకే
So I'll execute the same command again. The import is completed. After making the default table space as example, it was able to perform everything. Now everything looks good. The only error related things are, it says the package body is already existing because the package body will not be present in any table space, right? So even though RKL goes ahead and drop the user's table space, this package definition will everything will be present in the system table space. It will be stored in the data dictionary views. ఇక్కడ స్కీమా డ్రాప్ చేయలేదు, అది టేబుల్ స్పేస్ ని డ్రాప్ చేసింది. సో ఇట్ విల్ నాట్ డ్రాప్ ది ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ లైక్ like procedures and package will still be existing. As a result, it will say the packages are already existing, but don't need to worry about them. Just describe score.emp underscore incr అంతేనా? Yeah, score.emp underscore incr. So I have the table back. So that means I was able to perform the table space point time recovery. Next, just to record the things, if we want to delete the backups manually, we'll go to backup location /backup. For some reason, if we want to delete the backups manually, we'll go to that location and we'll delete them. And if you want to let rman know about that, we have to catalog that information back into the control file or the catalog. So in order to do that, we'll be using crosscheck crosscheck backup. This will check for the backups which are available or not on the disk. If they are not available, it will mark the backup files as expired. Okay, so it marked the backup files as expired. Now we have to delete them. So we'll go ahead and do delete expired backup. Just go for S and it will delete. And if you delete the arclog files manually, if you want to catalog that information, we'll go for crosscheck arclog crosscheck arclog. This will crosscheck the arclog files whether it is present in the arclog destination or not. So crosscheck arclog all. So it will cross check whether they are present or not. If they are present, it will not mark them as expired. After that, if you want to delete the backups which are older than the retention policy, we'll go for delete obsolete. Delete obsolete, we delete the files which are older than the retention policy. Next, as I said, whenever we are taking incremental level 0, after that, if you are performing incremental differential level 1 or incremental cumulative level 1 database backup, it has to check for the blocks which are changed. So it has to scan all the files in which the blocks are changed, and then it has to determine what blocks are changed and what needs to be backed up. So it will consume a lot of time during the backup execution. So it will increase the backup execution time. If you want to avoid that, we can enable block change tracking. If you want to decrease the execution time of incremental backups, we have to enable block change tracking. What block change tracking will does is, it will create a file and will store the block change tracking information to that file. So every time the block is getting changed, it will store that information into this file. And whenever we are triggering the incremental level 1 backup, it will make use of this file. It will get the blocks which are changed from the previous backup, and then it will only back up those changes, such that whenever you are taking the backup, it doesn't need to determine what blocks are changed. Using the existing information, it will back up the changes, which will improve the execution time. To enable the block change tracking, we'll be using alter database enable block change tracking using file, and we have to specify one file name. So here I'll be going for /oracle/ you can give any file name here. I'll go for change_tracking.dbf. So this will enable the block change tracking, and every time a block is getting changed, it will store that information into this file, such that rman will make use of this file to get the information about what are the blocks changed, and it will decrease the execution time.
Okay.
And if you want to see the file size and whether the block change tracking is enabled or not, we will be querying $block change tracking. There is a view called as $_block_ change tracking, which will give the information about whether the block change tracking has been enabled or not. If it is enabled, which file is used to store that information, and what is the current size of the file. So this is the block change tracking is enabled, and it is stored in this file, and right now the size of the file is this many bytes. Clear? So
yeah,
we'll use a block change tracking to decrease the rman execution time, but at the same time this will affect the database performance, because there should be some process which needs to track that information, and it needs to write back to the data files. So it's like a trade-off between database performance and rman execution time. Depending upon the situation, depending upon the resources you have on the server, we will decide whether we have to go for block change tracking, or without enable block change tracking, we have to go for incremental backups.
okay.
And then to record the things, to validate the physical corruption, we'll go for validate data file number. This will validate the data file for any physical corruptions. If there are any physical corruptions, it will record in $database_block_corruption view, and this marked_corrupt will have the number of blocks which are corrupted, and also the status will be in failed state. So whenever you are doing validate, you need to check for the status. If the status is failed, that means the blocks are corrupted. Then you have to go for $database_block_corruption view. This will give the information about the blocks which are physically corrupted.
Okay.
Right now there are no physical corruptions, so it will not report anything. Next, validate logical data file 4. This will validate, or this will check for logical corruptions inside the data file. Validate. Check logical data file 4. This will check for logical corruptions. And these commands are available starting from 11g. Prior to 11g version, we have to go for backup, validate, data file 4 to report physical corruptions, and backup, validate, check logical, data file 4 for logical corruptions. It will not take the backup of the file. Sorry, we have to go for backup. Yeah, it's correct. It will not take the backup of the file. It will only check for any corruptions which are existing on the database. If there are, it will report under same view, v$database underscore block underscore corruption. Next, so the table space point time recovery approach, we can use it for a table space but not for a table. The reason for that is, in a table space you'll have multiple tables, correct or not?
Yeah.
I just showed you by dropping a table. Actually, you can try it out using by corrupting a table space. For if the table space itself is corrupted, then going for table space point time recovery is a good option. But if just a table is corrupted, and if you go for table space point time recovery or point time recovery, you lose all the transactions which are made on the other objects. So in order to restore this particular table itself, we have to mimic the same approach which table space point time recovery has been used. It duplicated the database using the backup files, and then it performed the export and performed the import. In a similar way, what we have to do is, like, we have to duplicate the database into a different database using the backup files. Then we will export the table from that source data from the duplicated database, and we'll import it back into the target database. But the only thing is, we have to have as many resources what we have on the source server. If it is a production server, if the database size is around 2 terabytes or 3 terabytes, if you are trying to duplicate the database again, we require the 3 terabyte storage, correct or not? So we require 3 terabyte free space. And in a similar way, we need to have the CPU resources and memory usage for the database. So if we have those resources, it is better to duplicate the database, perform an export of the table, and then import it back into the production. So we will mimic that. I'll show you how to perform a duplication using the backup files. It is nothing but database cloning. Database cloning in the sense, we will copy, or using the backups what we have, we will clone a database using the backup files. So that means we'll have the same information what the backup files has. It will just set a different database name, and it will be in a different location. This will be used in the cases where, for example, there is a production and UAT, and if you want to replicate the whole database into the UAT such that the testers will perform their testing. If UAT has as many resources as production, then of course the application team will be demanding we need to have the same data as prod. In that case, performing an export and import will take a lot of time. Performing an export and import of full database will take a lot of time. So alternative thing is, we will restore the database using the backup files, because in production every day rman backup will be running and the backups will be stored. So we'll copy those backups in a different server, and using those backup files we'll clone the database and we'll make it as a UAT environment. This approach is faster when compared to export and import for a full database. And also it will copy the physical changes also. That means it will a block to block replica, because system, sysocs, table space, everything will be same. If you perform an export and import, it will be different for system and sysocs. That is a logical level copying, because it will copy at the logical level. That means it will copy at either object level, schema level, or table space level. And both of the three terms are logical terms. They are not physical terms. Object, table space, and schema. So if you want to have a physical block to block replica, then we have to go for cloning approach. So now we'll see the cloning approach. Once you see the cloning approach, exporting the table and importing back into the production is not a big matter, right? So I'll just show you how to clone the database. So I'll start another server. It may take 5 minutes. If you want, you can take break. So now I want to drop this test database from the server because it is behaving awkwardly. I don't want it. So I want to delete this database, or I want to drop the database. So first we have to make sure the database is up and running. And then using DBCA, we can drop the database. DBCA can be used to drop the database. Here somehow it said there is some problem. It was unable to, it is unable to get this DB recovery file dash parameter. I dropped the directory. So what I have to do now? Any guess what I have to do? Looking at the error, what comes to your mind? The location where it points is invalid or it's not existing. So we have to check for the value assigned to this variable. So it will be present in the SP file or P file. So there is SP file for demo.era. So let us use strings SP file demo.era grep for recovery. Oh, looks like there is no SP file. In the SP file demo, okay, strings tarvata pipe icha, okay. Okay, DB recovery file dash is pointing to a null value. If you see here, there is nothing assigned with DB recovery file dash.
Okay.
So we'll do one thing. We'll create a P file from SP file. There is no other option for us.
Yeah.
So then exit vi init demo.ora. Okay, recovery file dash is pointing to /backup/test. So I have to make sure the test directory is existing. So let me go into /backup. Okay, there is no folder for test. So let me go ahead and create it. Okay, now I'll be able to start up the database. Next, using DBCA, we can drop the database. Like the way we can create and reconfigure the database, we can also drop the database using DBCA. So first we have to set the environment to database. So dot space or env demo. Then we have to invoke DBCA. To drop the database. So using DBCA, you can drop it. The other way is, let me show you the manual approach to drop the database. We have to start up the database in no mount. After that, issue alter database mount exclusively restrict. So we have to mount the database in exclusively restrict. Exclusively restrict means no users will be accessing the database.
Okay.
After that, we have to issue the command drop database. This will delete all the data files, redo-log files related to the database. Then you have to go ahead and manually delete the trace file location and everything. So this is one approach where you can drop the database manually. Or else you can use DBCA to drop the database. Startup mount. Oh no. Yeah. Shit. Startup no mount. Alternate database mount exclusively restrict. One second, just. Okay, we'll just go for startup mount exclusive restrict, and then we'll go ahead and drop the database. So remember this command, startup mount exclusive restrict. Then we'll go for drop database command. Drop database. This will drop the data files and everything. So either using DBCA or using drop database, we can drop the database. And we need to make sure the files are deleted or not. So let us go ahead and check it out in /database/demo data files. If you see here, there are no data files in this directory. This is where my data files are present. They are deleted.
Yeah.
Next, online log. Even the read log files are deleted. So just to drop the entire folder, I'll go ahead and remove it manually. rm-rf demo. After that, I have to check whether the trace file directory is deleted or not. Demo. Okay, looks like the trace files are still existing, so we have to delete it manually. So rm-rf demo, that's it. So this will complete the database steps, drop database steps. Okay, it's done. So these are will drop a database. Now we'll see how to clone a database using the existing backup which we took on dev. So I will clone the database into test server. So let me show you that in a pictorial representation. My task is have a server called as dev, and within this server I have a database called as dev database. And this will be test database or test server. Within the server, I don't have any databases right now. If I want to check how many databases are created on the server, what is the command? Or which file will give me what are the databases created on the server?
Aura tab.
Yeah, so I have to do /etc/aura tab. So still it shows that test and demo databases are existing. So if you drop the database using DBCA, it will remove the entries from Aura tab. If you manually create the database, you need to add that entry into the Aura tab, right? In a similar way, if you had manually created the database, you need to delete the entries from Aura tab also. So let us go ahead and delete those entries too. We know the database are not existing in this database. Okay. So there are no database existing on the server. So we'll be taking a backup. We'll be taking a backup on this server, which is dev. We'll copy all the backup files into test, and then using those backup files, we will restore or we will clone the dev database as test database. Remember, we are cloning the dev database as test. Because in UAT the database name will be different, in production the database name will be different. So while cloning, we have to I mean, like, you can have the same database name or different database name, but my approach is to show you different database name, because going for the same database name is easier. Okay, I'll make it as test, or not test. I'll make it as clone. Okay,
Okay.
I'll make it as clone. My database name will be clone on test server. So now I'll show you how to perform this cloning approach using the rman backup. First, let us go ahead and take the backup on dev database. We have the incremental backups on this database, so I want the full database backup. I can use the incremental backup also, but it will take some time. So what I will do is, like, I'll delete everything. Okay, list backup. Probably I deleted all the backups. Okay, I don't have any backups right now on this server. So let me go ahead and take full database backup. So backup database. Here, I don't want to go, I want to have a separate folder for this approach. I don't want the backups to go into the recovery file test area. So I'll show you, if you don't want the backups to go into a flash recovery area, how to take the backups in a different location other than flash recovery area. So I'll create a folder called as clone here under /backup, and I'll take the backup into this folder, into /backup/clone. Okay?
Okay.
Give me a second. I'm getting a call. I'm back. So we'll see how to take backup into a different location other than flash recovery area. So I created a folder called as clone. Now I'll connect to the target /. Okay, let me set the environment to dev.
బ్యాకప్ స్పేస్ నేను చెక్ చేయాలి కానీ ఒకసారి.
Leave backup on the space, sufficient space. Yeah. df -h. Yeah, I have around 5.1 GB, which is good enough. rman target /. So to take the full database backup, we usually do it in backup database command, right? Backup database.
Yeah.
Now what I want to do is, like, I'll create a run block and I'll allocate channel C1 type disk. I want to go for parallelism 3, not for parallelism 4. So I'll be allocating 3 channels in order to make use of parallelism 3. So parallelism is nothing but channels in rman, as I already told you.
Yeah.
You remember, right? Okay. Run allocate channel C1 type disk. So these are will be allocating the channels manually. If you go for default parallelism, it will automatically allocate the channels. If you don't want to use a default parallelism, if you want to use a different parallelism, then you have to allocate as many channels as you want to have for the parallelism. I'll go for parallelism 2, so I'll be allocating 2 channels disk. So C1 and C2 are my channels, and type disk means it has to store, the channel should work on the disk, not on the tape. If it was tape, I'll be using SBT. Here I'll be using backup compressed. I'm compressing the backup. We can also use compression rman. So in order to use the compression feature, we'll be using backup compressed, backup set, database, format, and I'll be specifying the location where I want to store. I want to store it in the clone. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. There is no way we can do backspace here. I have to type everything again. Okay, channel C2 type disk, backup as compressed, backup set, database format slash backup slash clone slash semicolon, and then I'll close the run block. So it will take the backup of the database using two channels. But I also want to archive the current arclog file. So I'll be showing alter database, sorry, alter system, archive log current. అంతే కదండి.
Yeah.
Then I'll be taking the backup of arclog files also. Backup archive log all. Then I'll be closing my run block and I'll execute this statement. So I already told you how to use a run block. We can group all the commands into run block and we can execute it. And by using the run block, we can override the default parameters or default configurations which we set for those parameters. Like this, the default parallelism now is erased with parallelism 2. And also the backup is going into location slash backup slash clone. If you want to take the backup into a different location, we can use this format approach. If you want the backups to go into flash recovery area, you'll just specify backup database. అవునా అదేంటి okay, sorry, I have to add this one actually. Okay, let me copy the run block. rman లో edit చేయడం కష్టం, so I'm just doing it in notepad. I'll use the same run block, but the only thing is like I have to specify the file names also. So here after slash I'll be specifying this %d underscore data %ls. So I'll tell you what that means. %d stands for date or something like that, and data means these are data files. The backup which are storing are nothing but the backup data files. We are storing the data files, and %t is timestamp. In a similar way, if you want to backup the arclog files also, we'll be using backup archive log all format, because even the backups arclog files I want to store it in this directory. So I'll be using the same one, single quote %, yeah, instead of data I'll go for archive. Okay, I mean like just to to differentiate whether it's a data file backup or whether it's arclog file backup, I'll be changing it to ARCH here. Okay, let me delete these line numbers.
ఆర్టీఐలో కరెంట్ ఆల్రెడీ అయింది, కరెంట్ చేయలేదు.
ఓ యా చేస్తాను. అవును, అది ఎందుకు రాలేదు కాపీ చేసినప్పుడు?
మీరు వేరే కాపీ చేశారు, ప్రీవియస్ కాపీ చేశారు.
ఓకే, బ్యాకప్ యాజ్ కంప్రెస్డ్ బ్యాకప్ సెట్ డేటాబేస్ ఫార్మాట్. ఓకే, SQL alter database archive log current. So these are will do the backup. ఇక్కడ వరకు ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే చెప్పండి నాకు.
ఏం లేవు.
ఓకే, సెమికాలన్ లేదు ఇక్కడ. ఓకే, the only change what I made is in the format I specified %d underscore data %s %t. This will take the full database backup into /backup/clone. On the target side, which is the test server, we need to make sure we have the directories created. That means I want to store the data files under /database. Okay, I want to store the data files under /database /clone. My database name is clone, so I want to store it under clone. And here, if you look at the data file location, it is under dev. I want to clone it under clone folder.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure under /database I have the folder called as clone, and also I have to decide which directory I have to use to store the redo log files. So select member from redo-log file. This will give me the location of redo log files. So on the source side, the location of redo log files are present under /database/dev. So I'll be using the same folder. But yeah, /oracle is there. I'll be using the same location. So I'll go ahead and create clone folder under /database on the target server. /database. Here I have to create a folder called as clone to store data files and redo log files. Next, what else we have to check for? Control file destination. Show parameter control_files. Okay, control files are present under /database/dev and /home/oracle. So /database clone I already have. /home/oracle is already present, so I don't need to worry about the directory structure. After that, show parameter dump. So dump is pointing to Oracle app Oracle diag rdbms dev trace. Okay, here I have to point it out to clone trace. Correct or not?
Yeah.
So under rdbms I have to create clone folder, and inside the clone I have to create another folder called as clone. So okay, nothing to worry about. I mean, like our run block lo all the database archive lo current ani ichanu, so adi ikkada execute chestam. Database backup అయిపోయింది.
Okay.
Just archive log backups అవ్వలేదు. So I'll be issuing alt system archive log current. ఇది ఎప్పుడు నాకు కొన్ని కమాండ్స్ లో ఆర్కైవ్ లాగ్ అన్నది ఒక వర్డ్, కొన్ని కమాండ్స్ లో ఆర్కైవ్ లాగ్ ఇంకొక 2 వర్డ్స్ ఉంటాయి. అది కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవుతుంది.
సెపరేట్ అయ్యి మనకి కరెక్టే కదా.
స్పేస్ ఉండాలి ఆర్కైవ్ కి లాగ్ కి. ఓకే, సో ఆర్కైవ్ లాగ్ అయింది. ఐ విల్ టేక్ ద బ్యాకప్ ఆఫ్ ఆర్కైవ్ లాగ్ ఫైల్స్ టు బ్యాకప్ ఆర్కైవ్ లాగ్ ఆల్ ఫార్మాట్ and I'll specify the format. Oh. Okay, this will take the backup of archive log files into /backup/clone. So in the meanwhile, I have to go to Oracle app Oracle rdbms diag rdbms. Here I have to create a folder called as clone. Okay, there is already existing a clone folder. I'll remove it and I'll create it again. I don't know what is present under clone. Okay, under clone I have to create another clone directory, mkdir clone. Inside clone I have to create a directory for trace, and rest of the directories are okay. rmdir trace. Okay, I have to go into clone. Here I have to create a folder called as trace, and user dump location is trace. We have to create cdump under clone folder. So trace and cdump we have to create it. అర్థమవుతుంది కదా? cdump trace ఈ రెండు మాత్రం క్రియేట్ చేయాలి మనం. That's it. ఇంకా ఆర్కిల్ ఏపీపీ ఆర్కిల్లో ఏడమ్ బీడమ్ సీడమ్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం కదా, ఆర్కిల్ ఏపీపీ ఆర్కిల్లోనా అదే?
కాదండి, బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ డంప్ డెస్టినేషన్.
That's okay, and just we'll use a clone. Inside the clone itself, it will store everything. That's okay. No need to worry about it. Okay.
ఏం ఇదే ఇంకా ఆడిట్ ఫైల్ డెస్టినేషన్ ఉంటుంది.
యా అదే సరిపోయిందండి, యాక్చువల్గా సరిపోయింది. ఒక ఆడిట్ ఒకటి చూడాలి ఇప్పుడు. యా కరెక్ట్. షో పారామీటర్ ఆడిట్. ఆడిట్ ఈస్ పాయింటింగ్ టు ఆర్కిల్ ఏపీపీ ఆర్కిల్ అడ్మిన్ డెవ్ ఏడమ్. సో ఆర్కిల్ ఏపీపీ ఆర్కిల్ admin. Okay, here there is a folder called as clone, and here I have adum bdum cdum, so I'm good. So we need to make sure under admin we have to create these folders also. Okay, I'm good now, and my backup is also completed. Okay, now I have to copy the files which are present under clone into the same location. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఎక్కడైతే బ్యాకప్ తీసానో అదే డైరెక్టరీ స్ట్రక్చర్ నేను ఈ టెస్ట్ సర్వర్ లో కూడా క్రియేట్ చేయాలి. అండర్ స్లాష్ బ్యాకప్ I have to create a folder called as clone. Otherwise your cloning will not work. So it should have same directory structure. Under clone I have to copy the files. So what is the command to copy the files across the server? scp star okay 1.72 192 168 1.72 colon slash backup slash clone. So using scp we'll copy all the files into the test server in the same location where we took the backup on the source.
Okay.
After that we have to create a p file here on the source server. We have to create a p file, create p file from sp file. Okay, file is created. I have to copy the p file also. So my p file will be an oracle home slash dbs. ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే ఇప్పుడే అడగండి, స్టాప్ చేసి. I have to copy init dev.ora, init dev.ora 192.168.1.72 colon. I don't know the home. I'm just copying it to home oracle for now. Okay, and I'm copying it as init clone.ora because my SID name will be init clone. I mean clone. My database name will be clone. Okay. Oh, I have to go for SCP. Okay, the files are also copied. Just have to copy this one now. Oh, 192.160.1.72. Okay, so all the files are landed onto the target server, which is test. Now I'll open the file init clone.ora. Here wherever there is dev I have to substitute it with clone because my database name will be clone, right? So I have to substitute entire wherever there is dev I have to substitute it with clone. So escape colon percentile s slash dev slash test slash g, clone slash g. Correct or not?
Yeah.
అంతే కదండి,
The global. Yeah.
గ్లోబల్గా చేంజ్ చేస్తాను. ఓకే, it changed everything. So clone is good. Okay, Oracle app Oracle admin in under clone I have ADAM folder, so I'm good. Audit trail is set to DB and control file is under clone, that is good. DB16k cache size, DB block size, everything is good. DB name is clone. DB recovery file list is set to slash backup. Slash backup is existing on this server, so I'm good. Next, see here, the local listener parameter, I have to change it. The server name is different here. It is test.4techbees.com.
Yeah.
And port will be 1520. Let me check what are the listeners I'm having. I'll be using the same existing listener. So Oracle Home. We can change it afterwards also, but to make it consistent, I'm changing it right now.
Okay.
Okay. So test.4techbees.com and the port is 1524. So let me change the port to 1524. Okay. And archelog definition is under slash backup slash clone slash archelog. Under backup, clone, under clone there is a folder called as archelog. Okay, so we'll be good. Just we have to create another folder called as archelog under clone. Slash backup slash clone. Here I have to create a folder called as archelog. That's it. Okay, I'm good now. Just ఈ డైరెక్టరీ స్ట్రక్చర్స్ ఉన్నాయో లేవో చూసుకోవాలన్నమాట, క్రాస్ చెక్ చేసుకోవాలి. Once it is done, just save the file and exit and copy the file into Oracle Home DBS. Okay, this is my home. I'll go into DBS and I'll copy the file slash home slash Oracle init clone.org. Okay, sp star. Okay, let me remove this file because in I have the clone database earlier in this server, so I have to delete it. SP file ఒకటి ఉంది, అది delete చేస్తున్నాను నేను. ఓకే, ఎందుకంటే SP file ఉంటే SP file తో స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. It will start with SP file, so I have to make sure under DBS I don't have any SP file. Okay, it's good. Everything is good now. I will set the environment to clone. So export, or I'll do one thing. vi slash etc slash or a tab. My database name will be clone and my home will be Oracle app Oracle product 11 db1 అంతే కదండి. తర్వాత colon n. Okay, dot space or env clone. Okay, I'm good. SQL plus slash /sdba and I'll use startup no mount. So automatically it will use the existing P file which is present under Oracle Home DBS and it will start the database in no mount mode.
Okay.
Okay, there is something like dbu_0. Let me go ahead and kill it. dbc ఇన్వోక్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏదో వచ్చింది అది kill చేస్తున్నాను. 4668. Okay. Okay, my database is in no mount mode now. If I do ps minus save pmon, okay, I have the clone database which is in no mount mode. After that, I have to connect to rman and I have to connect to target as well as auxiliary instance. So while teaching about rman, I told you there are some terms. So target database is a database for which we are taking backup, correct or not?
Yeah.
And auxiliary instance is nothing but the database which we'll be cloning into. So in this case, which will be auxiliary instance and which will be target database? So target is dev here, correct?
Yeah.
And auxiliary is clone.
Oh.
So we have to connect to target as well as auxiliary. In order to connect to target and auxiliary, we'll be using rman target sys/oracle. So here it will make use of password file @dev, and then we have to specify auxiliary slash. Here I am not specifying anything because I'm connecting it from auxiliary server. So I'll be issuing this command from test server and I'll set the Oracle SID to clone. So by using auxiliary slash, it will connect to the clone database.
Okay.
So we need to add TNS entry corresponding to the dev database, and also we need to make sure the listener is up and running on the dev.
Okay.
So first let us go ahead and start the listener. lsnrctl start. Okay. Let me check what listener I have here. I don't know. Okay, listener_db is there. dev.localdomain.com. So /sbin/ifconfig. Okay, it is pointing to 114/etc/host. Oh, I have to make the changes in this file. Okay, /etc/hosts. ఇది గుర్తుంది కదా మీకు, నేను చెప్తుంటాను.
Yeah.
/etc.
అయితే అదే స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి కదా.
యా, ఇది యాక్చువల్గా లోకల్ డొమైన్కే పాయింట్ అవుట్ చేయాలి. Okay, and then or else I'll not use this one. I'll just in the listener file I'll just specify the IP address.
Okay.
Listener file లోనే IP address చేసి బాధ అంత ఉండదు కదా. So $inv dev $oracle_home. $192.168.1.114 and port is 1521. That's fine. I'll go ahead and start this listener. lsnrctl start listener _db. Okay, I have to make sure it is supporting the dev service. lsnrctl status. Yeah. ps minus f correct. Oh, then తప్పు స్టార్ట్ చేసాను listener ని. grep lsnr. Okay, if you see here listener_db. Okay, listener_db is running correct. lsnrctl status listener_.
అంటే టైం పడుతుంది అన్నారు కదా.
లేదు, అసలు నో ప్రోటోకాల్ అడాప్టర్ లిజనర్ రన్ అవట్లే అంటున్నారు.
అయితే అడ్రస్ కరెక్ట్ ఉంది.
/sbin/config 1.114 192.168.1.114 సరిపోయింది కదా. EX minus EF correct DNS. Okay, let me stop the listener and start again.
ఓకే
Kill -9 16147 LSNRCTL start listener underscore TV. Okay, okay, it's good now. టైం పట్టది సర్వీస్ రిజిస్టర్ అవడానికి. షో పారామీటర్ లోకల్ underscore. Okay, let me change the local listener parameter. Alter system set local underscore listener equal to okay. Okay, it's supporting the service now, so we are good. We need to add just a TNS entry corresponding to dev on test. So cd oracle home network admin TNS names .dora. Okay. I'll make it as dev.
Mm.
114.15.21 and the service name is dev. TNS ping dev. Okay, it's working. Very good. So I'll connect to rman target sys/oracle @dev auxiliary / but I have to make sure what is my oracle SID. So oracle underscore SID. Okay, it is pointing to demo, so I need to change it to clone. Now I'll be using this command. These will be connecting to target as well as auxiliary. Okay, so now we are connected to target database as well as auxiliary instance. We have to perform the cloning. To do it, duplicate target database to clone. Because I'm duplicating the target database. Target database is dev. I'm duplicating it to clone. It will fail. Okay, command. It will fail. Okay, yeah, correct. So my data file locations and read log file locations are different, correct or not?
Yeah.
So I have to mention that in P file, then only the changes will make effect. So in init clone.era, we need to use two parameters. One is db underscore file underscore name underscore convert is equal to /database /clone. Sorry, /database /dev. This should replace it with slash database slash clone. Correct or not?
Yeah.
Then we have to use another parameter called as log underscore file name convert equal to slash database slash dev, and this should replace with slash database slash clone. I also know there is another file under slash oracle, but for slash oracle I don't need to specify anything. లేదండి స్లాష్ ఆర్కిల్ ఉంది.
డాట్ పెట్టారు, కామా ప్లేస్ డాట్ ఉంది
ఓకే ఓకే
ఫైల్ log file name.
Yeah. So if you remember, the redo log file is also present under slash oracle, but there is no folder specifying under slash oracle. So slash oracle ఇందులో కూడా exist అయింది కాబట్టి I don't need to specify anything here. Just have to replace dev with clone for DB data files and for log files. So we need to use these two parameters whenever we are going for it.
Okay.
That's it only. Rest of the things are same. We'll save and exit. So we need to make sure ps-cf grep-emon. Okay, it is running. So let me connect to it and share it about. Shut about. Okay, while it is duplicating, it actually created a file, sp file. So I have to remove that sp file. sp file create చేసిన తర్వాత it failed out. Okay, now we are good. Next, if you see here, it is trying to read the backup from slash backup slash dev, correct or not?
Yeah.
It is trying to read it from slash backup slash dev. The reason for that is the recovery file list is set to. Okay, I'll show you that. Let us do one thing. Exit, connect to rman target, and before doing that, we have to start up the instance again. Startup, no more. So every time it fails, you need to make sure you'll shut down the instance, you'll remove the sp file.
Okay.
Okay. Duplicate database to clone. Okay, still it is saying that it is unable to find the backup. It is unable to read it from slash backup slash dev. Okay, we'll just do list backup. Okay, so it is present under slash backup slash dev. No, the backups are present under slash backup slash clone, correct or not? The files are present under slash backup slash clone.
Yeah.
కొన్ని స్లాష్ బ్యాకప్ స్లాష్ ఆటో బ్యాకప్ మాత్రం దాంట్లోకి వెళ్ళిపోయింది అనుకుంటాను. ఆటో బ్యాకప్ ఒకటి it went into slash database slash dev. That's okay, but what error we got? Starting restoring control file from slash backup, error while restoring the backup piece, failed to identify, unable to obtain the file status, no such file, failure to previous backup. Okay, 1 second. Let me go into slash backup slash clone here itself. I have to check whether I have the control file backup or not. Slash backup slash clone. Okay, if you see here, what I have is data file backups and arclog file backups. I don't have any control file backup here. Control file backups are stored in /backup/dev.
Okay.
So those files are present in source database itself. So /backup. నేను కాపీ చేయలేదు కదా వాటిని.
Yeah.
టెస్ట్ అయినా డెవ్ కి ఎందుకు వెళ్తుంది? బ్యాకప్ డెవ్. ఓకే, ఫస్ట్ నేను క్రాస్ చెక్ చేస్తున్నాను. క్రాస్ చెక్ బ్యాకప్. ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఏమైనా ఎక్స్పైర్డ్ ఉన్నాయేమో. ఓకే, అన్నీ అవైలబుల్ ఉన్నాయి. /backup/dev ఉంది. ఇక్కడ ఫోల్డర్ లేదంటే
క్రోమ్ లో డెవ్ ఉంది.
/backup dev అని ఫోల్డర్ లేదు ఇక్కడ. ఇవి అవైలబుల్. ఓకే, ఇది చూడాలి కదా. ఆటో బ్యాకప్ ఇది ఉందని చూపిస్తుంది యాక్చువల్గా. ఒక పని చేస్తాను, నేను మళ్ళీ తీసుకుంటాను, బ్యాకప్ తీసుకొని మళ్ళీ చేస్తాను. లేకపోతే ఒక 5 minutes పడుతుంది. యాక్చువల్గా చూసుకోవాల్సింది. So I have to copy it from this folder dev. Auto backup. (2013). So it is present in one of these files. So we took the backup. The latest file is 1130. So we have to copy this file. So I'll copy both these files, 1128 file and 1130 file, into the same data structure I have to create on the target server. So pwd, I have to create this directory. Actually అయితే ఒకటే folder లోకి తీసుకోవాల్సింది, మనం తీసుకోలేదు. So that's the reason why I have to create this directory. mkdir paste. Okay, I have to go for mkdir -p. Okay, now I have the directory. I'll copy the file into this directory from the source server. I'm copying everything. Start.bkp 192.168.1.72. In the meanwhile, let me shut the instance down and remove the SP file. సో మీకు అర్థమైంది కదా, ఈ టెస్ట్ సర్వర్ లో ఉండాలి. మనం టెస్ట్ సర్వర్ డూప్లికేట్ చేసినాం కాబట్టి బ్యాకప్ ఫైల్స్. Okay, let me check the copy. Okay, the copy is done. Backup target data, just duplicate target database to clone. Okay, I have to connect it to again. rman target auxiliary / duplicate target database. Okay, so make sure you add db file name convert, log file name convert, and make sure you copied all the backups into the target, into the source, sorry, target server. rman perfect లో టార్గెట్ సర్వర్ వేరే, మన పర్ఫెక్ట్ లో టార్గెట్ సర్వర్ వేరే. Now it is able to read the control file. It restored the control file.
ఓకే.
Database is mounted.
యాక్చువల్లీ
Now
మనం బ్యాకప్ తీసినప్పుడు ఆ కంట్రోల్ ఫైల్స్ కూడా ఇవ్వాలి.
yeah, backup control file అంటే అది కూడా ఆ లొకేషన్ కి వచ్చేది. ఓకే.
ఓకే.
auxiliary file name /database /dev ts_ck conflicts with a file used by the target database. Failure. We'll follow this approach. We'll use the same command, but in the sp file we'll make sure db file name convert and log file name convert are getting changed.
ఓకే.
Copy, test, ps -f corrupt pmon. Okay, I have to shut it down. So whenever it is unable to reflect the changes in the sp file, we'll be using sp file class and we'll make sure that will be set on the sp file. So run block lone we can use sp file class and we can use these two commands.
ఓకే.
Now I'll exit from rman. I'll paste it down, enter. Okay. It is occurred in starting script, memory script, start of file, parameter log file, archive list 1, destination string cannot be translated. Okay, better we'll do one thing. ఇంకొక అప్రోచ్ ఉంది, I'll show you that. Shit about అన్ని పారామీటర్స్ చేంజ్ అవ్వట్లేదు, ఇనిట్ ఫైల్ లో ఉన్న పారామీటర్స్ అన్ని దీనిలో తీసుకోవట్లేదు అనమాట. సో దానివల్ల ఇష్యూ వస్తుంది. సో మనమే ఒక ఎస్పీ ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసి పెట్టేద్దాం.
ఓకే.
Create sp file from p file. Startup no mount. Show parameter. Oh no. Okay, I have tb file name convert, log file name convert, so I'm good. Show parameter. Dump. It is pointing to clone. So this is good now. We'll exit from here. I'll connect to target slash and I'll issue only this command, duplicate target database, because I don't need to specify anything now. But it already restored the control file. So the control files are already present under /database/dev or /clone. So I have to remove that control file also. Otherwise it will error out saying control file is already existing. The other one is under home oracle. Okay, rm-rf control 02.ctl. Okay, done. Okay, now I'll be issuing this command. target database to clone. No file name check. Okay, see here, I specified database as CE, so that is causing the issue. Alter system set db file name convert slash clone. Okay.
Yeah. Scope equal descriptor.
Yeah. Okay. Shut about. Start up again. ఇలా ఫిగర్ అవుట్ చేయాలండి, ఇష్యూస్ వస్తాయి పక్కా.
Yeah.
ఓకే, కంట్రోల్ ఫైల్ కూడా డిలీట్ చేస్తుంది.
Okay.
Okay, I'm good now. Duplicate target database. Clone. No file name. Check. Deva. Okay. SQL plus slash SSTVA. Show parameter. DB name. ఓకే, మనం చేంజ్ చేసేటప్పుడు స్మాల్ డెవ్ ని మాత్రమే మార్చాం, క్యాపిటల్ డెవ్ ని మార్చలేదు. సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసినప్పుడు డెవ్ కి స్మాల్ డెవ్ ని మార్చాం, క్యాపిటల్ డెవ్ ని మార్చలేదు. సో అదొక ఇష్యూ ఇప్పుడు. సో again I'll create p file from sv file because we made some changes, right?
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Exit. యాక్చువల్ క్లోనింగ్ చేస్తే మీకు అన్ని టాపిక్స్ రివైజ్ అయినట్టు ఉంటాయి మళ్ళీ. ఓకే, సో క్యాపిటల్ డెవ్ అన్నది డీబీ నేమ్ కి ఒకదానికే ఉంది.
Yeah.
అంతే, అదొకటి చేంజెస్. %s/rman సారీ /dev/clone. ఓకే, Okay, so set apart. Create SP file from E file. Startup. No more. లేదు బా ఇంకా ఉందనుకుంటా కదా ఇంకా గ్రూప్ బిలో ఇంకా తెలీదు slash oracle redo to conflicts with a file used by the target database స్లాష్ ఆర్కిల్లో మేబీ ఉందనుకుంటా ఒక ఫైల్లో చూద్దాం సార్ స్లాష్ ఆర్కిల్ ఏమీ లేదు ఓకే ఐల్ డూ వన్ థింగ్ ఐల్ ఆల్సో యూజ్ లాగ్ ఫైల్ నేమ్ కన్వర్ట్ ఫర్ స్లాష్ ఆర్కిల్ ఆల్సో ఐల్ రీమ్యాప్ ఇట్ డిఫరెంట్ థింగ్ అదొక్క దానివల్ల అయ్యి ఉంటుంది సో సీక్వెల్ ప్లస్ స్లాష్ ఎస్ఎస్టీవీఏ show parameter convert log file name convert database dev database clone slash oracle కూడా ఇస్తున్నాను బట్ యాక్చువల్గా ఇవ్వాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు slash oracle redo to ఓకే చేస్తాను ఇంకేం చేస్తాను system set log file name convert slash database slash database slash clone slash oracle ని I'll make it point to slash database slash dev only so slash database slash clone slash oracle ఉన్న దగ్గర కూడా I'm remapping it to slash database slash clone okay
Scope is good.
okay set about startup mount sorry startup no mount convert okay slash oracle is pointing to slash database slash clone so we are good exit okay exit అది మారుతుంది యాక్చువల్గా okay slash SSTV alt system set db underscore name equal to clone
Okay.
scope equal to sp5 set about no okay Okay, it is in no mode mode. That is what we want. Okay, it's c/rm/. Okay, I'll issue the command again. Exit. స్టెప్ సింపుల్. ఎక్కడైనా చిన్న మిస్టేక్ చేస్తే కొంచెం ప్రాబ్లం అవుతుంది.
Yeah. కరెక్ట్గానే ఉంది.
యా, ఇది కరెక్ట్. ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ సెట్ న్యూ నేమ్ టు, ఇందాక యాక్చువల్ నేను ఇది చూసే డిటర్మైన్ చేసి అక్కడ ఎర్రర్ ఉందని. ఇందాక ఏమైందంటే సెట్ న్యూ నేమ్ ఫర్ డేటా ఫైల్ 2 అని ఉండి ఏమీ లేదన్నమాట ఇక్కడ.
ఓకే.
సో అప్పుడు అర్థమైంది డిబి ఫైల్ నేమ్ కన్వర్ట్ లో స్పెల్లింగ్ తప్పు ఉందని. ఓకే, ఇట్స్ గుడ్ నౌ. So we need to make sure necessary directories are created. We need to add db file name convert, log file name convert, and then we have to issue the we have to take the backup, copy the backup to target server, issue duplicate target database to database name which you want. Okay. The files are getting landed here.
Yeah.
ఇక్కడ వరకు ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయండి ఎక్కడైనా ఏదైనా?
చేస్తే ఇది ఒకసారి.
యా, అండ్ ఇది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ అండి ఫీచర్ క్లాస్ కి. అంటే డేటా కార్డ్ కి ఇది కావాలి, క్లోనింగ్.
ఓకే, ఈరోజు కంప్లీట్ చేస్తానండి. కంప్లీట్ చేస్తాను.
ఇంకా యాక్చువల్లీ మీరు ఇంకా బుక్స్ చదవాలి, ఇంకా చాలా ఉంటాయి. అంటే నేను చెప్పిన మేబీ ఒక 60-70% చెప్పుంటాను నేను.
ఓకే,
ఇంకా ఎక్స్ట్రా ఉంటాయి చాలా.
జస్ట్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తుంది ఒక ఐడియా వస్తుంది, బట్ ఇంకా థియరీ అంతా చదువుకోవాలి కదా.
యా, స్పేస్ ఉందా? ఇది కొంచెం పెద్ద డేటాబేస్ యాక్చువల్గా. ఓకే, 2.3 GB ఉంది. సైజ్ డిక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది, సో ఫైల్ కాపీ అవుతుంది ఏదో. ఇక్కడ 2.3 ఉంది, ఇక్కడ 2.1 వచ్చింది అవైలబుల్. చూసి ఓకే. Just if you just want to restore a control file, probably I told you, I'm not sure. Restore control file. will restore the control file. But if you have a catalog, by using restore control file, using the catalog information, it will restore the control file. But if you don't have a catalog, then if you issue this command, it doesn't know where the control file backup is present, because it will store it in the control file itself, and the control file is corrupted. So in that case, you have to go for restore control file from, and you have to specify the location where the control file is present. And remember, auto file control, like whenever we enable the auto backup for control file, you will have the control file where it specify SF, OL underscore SF something. So the backup set with OL underscore SF will have the control file backup. ఇక్కడ చూపిస్తున్నాను /backup dev, yeah, dev, yeah. So it will be of this format: OL underscore MF underscore S. S stands for SP file. సో SP ఫైల్ ఉన్న చోటే కంట్రోల్ ఫైల్ కూడా ఉంటుంది. సో ఇందులో ఉంటుంది అనమాట. సో ఈ లొకేషన్ ఇవ్వాలి మీరు, ఇంక్లూడింగ్ .bkp ఫైల్. And also after the table space point time recovery, the data file 4 will be still offline or read only. We need to make it as a read rate, I guess. Let us check it out. I'm not sure. Select table space underscore name status from db underscore table spaces. Yeah, users is read only. We have to make it read rate actually. In a similar way, if you want to restore just the SP file, we'll be issuing the command restore SP file from backup location. Okay. ఇంకొకటి ఏంటంటే, the last thing, for example, you don't have any catalog. You lost your control file. You're recreating it by specifying the data file locations and control read log file locations. Create control file, set db name, and then we'll specify the data file locations and log file locations. It will be there in your create control file script, which you used on that day. అలా చేసినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే కంట్రోల్ ఫైల్ లో కూడా ఉండదు ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, ఎందుకంటే వీఆర్ క్రియేటింగ్ ఎ న్యూ కంట్రోల్ ఫైల్. So in that case, you have to use catalog start with, and you have to specify the backup location. Then it will catalog this information to the new control file. Then you can perform the restoration and recovery. Same thing. Okay, the duplication is done. The database is up and running. Okay, so done. Tomorrow mali 10 o'clock mali class. Okay? See you tomorrow at 10. Yeah. Okay na Ashish? 10 okay na Nico? Yep. Yeah, okay then. Bye.
Okay. Yeah.